30 years of living south of here, the first thing that I asked my husband Brad to do on his honey-do list at our new home was to fix the birdhouse. Now, we don't have an ordinary birdhouse. We have a bird condominium. It's on a 10-foot pole up in the air, and it is 5 birdhouses. One faces north, south, east, west, and there's a 5th one up top that overlooks the confluence of the Trout and Revolve rivers. I'm very close to North Shore. It's lovely there. The reason that this birdhouse needed attention right away was that in Hurricane Irma, one of the birdhouses had flopped over upside down. And I told Brad, we're not going to get any decent birds to move in to this ghetto-looking birdhouse. And I wasn't wrong, because he shook his head. He's very sweet. He went out and unloaded the extension ladder out of the moving truck, put it up, took his hammer and nails, turned the birdhouse, nailed it in place, and the very next day, we got a gorgeous daddy bluebird who moved in with his wife. He moved her into one of the birdhouses. He flew off, and he got his side chick, and he brought her and put her in one of the birdhouses. He flew off again, I'm not kidding, and got his side chick. So now I had a 5 birdhouse condominium that had 3 women in it. And I wasn't really proud of his philandering ways, but as I watched the ladies go out and build their little nests and saw him bringing little gifts of grass and twigs, I thought, okay, this is clearly one of these big love situations. I'm going to mind my own business. So we go back in the house, and in a few weeks, we heard the most exciting little noises. It was the twittering of little tiny baby birds, and we were so happy. And then one day, Brad and I have offices in our home. We work out of the home, and they have these lovely floor-to-ceiling glass doors that go out onto a balcony overlooking the river. And so one day, we were both hard at work at our computers, and I heard Brad shout from across the hall, "There's a crow on the birdhouse!" And I jumped up and I looked, and sure enough, there was the biggest black bird I've ever seen in my life outside of a Hitchcock movie. And he was wrapped around this birdhouse. His claws were in the pole, his wings were around the birdhouse, and his head with this vicious beak was just pecking into the hole of one of the side chicks' houses where the baby birds were. He was trying to eat them. And that's when I had my blowout. I lost my mind, red hot fury. I ran down the stairs, and I ran out the door, out the porch, and I scooped up the first thing I saw that looked like a weapon, which were these river rocks that were lying in the flower bed. And I got 2 handfuls, and I'm running, and my north side cracker came out. I'm sorry. I'm throwing this rock, and I'm throwing this rock, and I'm saying, "You get! Go on! Nobody wants you around here! Get!" And I can't hit the broadside of a bar. I know these guns look like I could. And I'm throwing these rocks, and they're missing by a country mile, and the rocks are falling in the river. And pop, 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 pop. And I see that the crow is not impressed, but I did hurt his feelings. So he flew off, and I swear he was a transplant from Baltimore, because as he left, I heard him saying, "Never mind." And just then, now I'm old, and I was 25 pounds heavier than I am right now, and I shouldn't have been running and throwing rocks. And I'm standing there, hands on my hips, and trying to catch my breath. And that's when I looked over and I saw just the tip of a kayak. I hope it wasn't you. And I'm thinking, I am a lily white woman who has just moved in to Lake Forest, which is predominantly African American. And I said, oh my God, please look like me, please look like me, please look like me, because I remembered what I had just greeted these people with. Flying rocks and, you get it! Go on! Nobody wants you around here. Get! And luckily, as they came around with really big eyes, they were white people. They were Jesus. And they looked very frightened. And I pointed at the bird and I said, no, 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 it was a bird. He was eating my babies. And they said, okay. And they we all exhaled, and the guys paddled on, and as they were going away, I noticed that they kept looking back over their shoulder, but they let me get away with it. So then I go in the house and I said, Brad, I need some old clothes. I need old clothes right now because I have to build a scarecrow. And Brad says to me, honey, we just moved. We threw away all our old clothes. You don't pack old clothes and move them. So I don't have any. And he's thinking, and he says, well, I do have that old box of Halloween costumes in the garage. Go look through that. So I go out there, and the first thing I find in the box is a 6-foot-tall Tigger costume. And I was really thinking that might work. But then I found the golden ticket. I found a zombie costume. It's so ugly, guys. It's got raggedy pants and this torn open shirt with like bloody ribs in there, probably your dad's. And it was big, huge claw gloves and ugly boots with the feet sticking out. And the mask was so great. It was hideous and looked like this person had been tortured. And long locks flowing down the back. And I took it out and I found a crossbar, right? A little skinny thing. And I've got that hammer and nails because he had fixed the birdhouse. And I'm hammering this crossbar to the 10-foot pole that the birdhouse sits on. And I dress this thing. And it's up there. And it is gorgeous. And all of the birds stay away for like 2 days. And then it started to rain. And it rained, and the crossbar started to droop, and when we looked out, Brad said, look at that, it's Jazz Hands Jesus. So that's what we called it for a while, and about 2 days later, I was sitting on my porch, no crows, no ravens, happy little bluebirds doing their thing, and I'm drinking coffee, sun's coming up, and I see the kayak guy who's going down the river. Now he was not within stone throwing distance anymore. He was way out of there. We have a 100-foot dock, and he had given it probably 25 more feet after that, but he was going very slowly. He was looking at the house, looking for the crazy lady, checking the yard. He's looking at the birdhouse. Oh God, he's looking at the birdhouse. And he's looking down, and then I see him turn around, and he comes back. Now he's coming in close. He goes under our dock, and he pulls as close to shore as he can, and he's looking at Jazz Hands Jesus. And so I stood up with my coffee cup, and I opened the door, and I waved. And then I see him turn and very quickly pass, and I've not seen him since.